So you decided to buy the business. Now, there's a story behind it, though. Like,
Yeah.
tell us about that.
So Newton Property were my first employers, and obviously they're family. So when I spoke to them in sort of summertime 2017, their letting director had just left, and he said to me, "Look, we we need to find a new letting director." So I was like, "Look, great, I want to help you guys do that. I know loads of people in the industry, and give you a kind of steer on who you think you should chat to." And in having that conversation, they came to me and said, "Look, why don't you come back?" So I said, "Fine." And they said, "Look, just there's one caveat. We are going to sell off the letting division of the business. We want to solely." They were growing at that point rapidly, becoming one of the biggest factors in the country. So I said, "Fine." They're going to sell it. And they said, "Look, if you want to buy it, like, we'd give you first refusal." And I thought, fine. And I thought, do you know what? They'll give me this chat. Maybe a year, 2, 3 years down the line, it might turn to something. And I honestly must have been back working in the business like 2 days. And they were like, "So, Riccardo, you said you're going to buy the business. You want to buy it?" And I'm like, "Sure." So at that point, I had to go away, and that was a bit of a journey. That actually ended up taking about 18 months. The majority of that time was getting funding together, which I did through RBS. And it just takes time. And it's funny how these things all kind of work out for you. But, if I jump ahead for a second slightly, if I think a year to the date that I bought the business, we went into lockdown. And imagine if that journey itself, just acquiring the business, had taken that a good bit longer, which it could have easily done. It could have been a completely different position now of where I'm at. But getting there was a bit of a journey. Getting funding was not easy. And it was really daunting. I'd borrowed way, way more money than I ever borrowed in my entire life. More than a mortgage. I was just like, but once you kind of get your head around it, that was always the great bit. It wasn't as if Newton Property were selling me the business and saying, the minute you buy it, go away and don't darken our door again. We don't want to know you. We still rented back space from them, and they were on hand to just help with the transition, alongside just like my own family from my side, from my in-laws' side. I get loads of help around me, loads of good people around me, and it just made the transition smooth. And I felt like I moved into that pretty easy. I didn't find it that uncomfortable, which was nice.
I mean, you're probably, I guess, fortunate. You knew the family, you knew the business,
Yeah.
just timing and the market. I guess you can't sort of speed up some of these back end processes and applications. Yeah.
No.